So I head up retrofit programs at Best, Built Environment Smarter Transformation, and we have a physical campus just outside of Glasgow and Blantyre. I'm just going to quickly give an overview of Best and the work that we do kind of generally, and then really a bit more specific into retrofit and the work we've been doing more recently with the schools and colleges. Yep, so just kind of looking at the big picture in the full built environment. So unlike almost any other sector, the built environment impacts the lives of every one of us every single day. And the built environment has a massive impact on climate and climate emergency and CO2 emissions. So, you know, we know 40% of the built environment contributes to CO2 emissions. The built environment and the workforce within Scotland has a massive part to play as well. So, you know, the sector plays a large role in workforce and also within society, a huge employer, investor in future workforce, and also investment in research and development, which is growing currently. Best are one of 7 innovation centres, and we are funded through the Scottish Funding Council, Scottish Enterprise and Highlands and Islands. All our innovation centres are hosted by a university. So our university host is Edinburgh Napier University. And our mission is to support the built environment accelerate to zero carbon. So all work that we do is around supporting the built environment accelerate to zero carbon. We do that by working through it with our connected ecosystem. So citizens, industry, education, and the public sector, and that helps us unlock innovation. Best delivers impact through research and development projects, innovation, knowledge exchange, service and system design, and then products and services right through to commercialisation. And this is just some of the impact that we've had today. I'll share the slides so you can have a look at these in a bit more detail. We work around 4 thematic themes: digital construction, modern methods of construction, retrofit, which is the area that I head up, and sustainability. But all the work that we do is really underpinned by cultural and behavioural change, and then also zero carbon skills and competencies. At Best, we have 2 campuses. We have 1 campus and 2 facilities at our campus. So the A Lab, and if you've been to Best, and that's where we host Best Fest as well. And the A Lab is where we deliver a lot of our practical skills and training. We also host our events there. But it's 35,000 square feet of dedicated innovation space. And there's an opportunity for small MSCs and micro businesses to transition from startups to scale-ups, focusing on delivery to maximise economic, social and environmental impact. And then we have the Z Lab as well, which is where we have all our kind of manufacturing and equipment. So we have a CLT press. So the only CLT press in the UK is housed there. We have a pilot insulation line. We have an off-site line. So we have a lot of machinery and equipment, and it allows part organisations, industry and academia to pilot, trial and test ideas and innovative solutions within the built environment. But thinking about retrofit and how we support and scale up retrofit in Scotland. So we're currently working, so I mentioned earlier, we have within, you can see in the middle image that's the A Lab. Sorry, my PowerPoint's just disappeared. Yeah, we're back. The middle slide there is where we deliver a lot of our practical training. So we have a whole range of practical training, passive house and fabric first approach, retrofit training. We've been delivering training at Best since March 2021, and it was fully funded through the National Transition Training Fund, and we've also had a few other ranges of funding, the Young Person's Guarantee. But this really allowed us to support colleges and universities throughout Scotland as well. So not only were we upskilling industry, but also lecturers within colleges as well. And what we try and do with our skills and training at BEST is we support the gaps. So where there's gaps within the college sector, the industry, we'll deliver the training. We're working with a whole range of colleges and universities to do so, fill the gaps, but then support the colleges to take them on at a larger scale and deliver them at scale and at pace. But this specific project is with Borders College, City of Glasgow College, Fife College, New Lanarkshire College, South Lanarkshire College and West College Scotland. And we've been working with them since the sort of autumn of last year to really understand what they need within the college sector to be able to deliver retrofit skills and training within, many of you on the call from academia understand the challenges that sit within the college sector, but also delivering additional courses and putting that through a system that's already in place. So we're trying to work with them and understand, well, what does the colleges need and how can we support that within the current curriculum? So slightly different approach to what's been discussed today. And we worked through a whole host of workshops. So we had the college partners, but also industry partners in these workshops as well. And we had 4 kind of workshop questions and starters. So the first one was, if we think about moving forward, thinking about the future, how do we visualize that success? So what has actually happened and occurred that has caused the success to happen, and some of the findings from that was, and things that are not unusual. So funding has been secured, pipeline of work, and there's a pipeline of supply and demand, place-based learning and place-based training and skills are taking place, and there's clear pathways. So that this was what was coming out, and I should be able to share with you that report, Cara. You can share wider from these workshops. So these were the kind of things that we know that we would need to happen for this to really take place. And then what are the blockers? So significant blockers, competing for the same funding pots, legislation, short-term reactions rather than long-term plannings, sustainability of the job, demand certainty. So again, these are the kind of barriers that we're coming up with and addressing. And we workshop these over a course of a couple of days, and then we're thinking about moving on to driving demand. So, things around visualizing success. So if we think about the question here, the kind of thoughts that were coming out of this workshop were geographical difficulties. So thinking about Scotland and the work that's taking place in the Highlands and Islands, whereas down south near the borders, and how do we support the demand there and support that local supply chain within the local area. So tailored solutions as well, risk sharing mechanisms, targeted support for SMEs, a shift away from focus of the cost to social value, prioritising improvement in living conditions was a real important one. So that was something that was really coming out that would drive demand. And then also thinking about citizen engagement, so that this was the kind of topics that were coming out. And then finally in workshop 4, how do we stimulate that demand? So measuring and regulating sustainability, affordability of sustainability, so encouraging cost effectiveness solutions at the same time as energy savings and reducing emissions, implementation of mandatory training, certification programs for retrofit, and then again thinking about innovation hubs, research partnerships and innovation grants. So this would start to stimulate the supply. So once we'd spent I think we did 2 or 3 sessions with the same group, and once we had kind of worked together collaboratively, is what can the colleges do together? There's quite a geographical spread between them, but what can they really do together that can support so that we are not avoiding duplication, but also each college has a different requirement and different demands. So some colleges are looking for skills and training within the installers, some are looking for more of the professional qualifications, retrofit skills and training for quantity surveyors, architects, whatever it may be. So how do we really support that? And this is kind of where we're at. And Best are supporting this work. So we are Best are investing our core academic funding into this work. And we're now looking at 2 workflows with the group. So a retrofit readiness assessment, stakeholder engagement. So these are some of the activities that Best will support: curriculum engagement for retrofit education and skills gap analysis for retrofit professionals. And then that would lead on to the workflow 2, which would be our regional projects with pilot projects for analysis and reporting. And the idea is that we would have a framework of a framework for colleges that can then tap into, so open source for all colleges in Scotland, that can tap into and say, okay, for my apprenticeships, I want them to upskill in these specific areas within retrofit, and those modules are there. So almost like a suite of modules that can be adapted for all different retrofit courses. And there might be, 5 modules within one that makes up one course, but it's not specific to, for example, kind of retrofit qualifications. It's more a generic system. And we are still unpicking that with the colleges to understand that a little better. But so we are, I suppose, quite some steps, still under development in some of the work that we're doing, but we're now at this kind of, we've got these 2 workflow areas, and, it would really be excellent if we can, hearing what the first speaker was talking about, sorry, I've forgotten his name, Ashley, and just, we can learn from some of that work as well, which is really, really exciting. So thank you. Oh, sorry, and one other thing. Also, I'll share these slides at the end, but and how we do this is really working with our connected ecosystem. So, this is again, open kind of invitation. If this is something that you want to be involved in, please reach out to us, and we can share that information as well.